In a movement full of Democrats, liberals, leftists, Republicans, all different colors of all the wheels, fighting really for humanity. So that's me.
Very nice.
Amen.
Okay, next, Anthony. Let Anthony go because
where in Ohio are you?
Do you know where Canton is? The Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Oh, sure.
I'm like 15 minutes from there, in the middle of nowhere. So if my internet breaks up, it's because I'm in the middle of nowhere.
That sounds glorious.
I've been there. I've been there to the NFL Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio.
It's actually, you know, I actually invested some stock in it. I pulled stock out of Apple and Disney after the BDS movement. I was like, I'm pulling all my stock out, and I started putting it into local things. So I put it into the Hall of Fame stock, and now I'm like zeroed out. But I tried.
But you tried that. And that matters.
I got to call an audible. Anthony, you will go after Sabrina because Sabby has to go in 5. So
okay, let Sabby and Sabby. Thank you so much. I know this is like because Sabby runs a really good ship, guys. Like honestly, Sabby, you and Kim Iverson are my 2 like go-tos when I want to like know what's really going on because you guys do the best deep dives into stuff, and I so appreciate it. So I know this
call me when you want to know what used to go on.
Yes, for sure. So Sabby, thank you so much. But yeah, let you introduce yourself to Harvey.
Oh, hi, Harvey. I'm Sabrina Salvati. I host Sabby Sabs podcast, and I'm also a part of Revolutionary Blackout Network.
Very nice.
Yeah. See, we're cross-pollinating.
Yes, we are. Anthony, first, could you introduce that lovable, adorable Poochie that's right next to you?
Yeah, let's see the dog.
Well, I was getting excited earlier, so he had to come up and check out what was going on.
Oh my goodness!
He's got the face.
Look at him.
Yeah. This is my service dog Chester.
That's Chester. Oh my goodness, he's so cute.
Yes.
Oh my.
But he, when we were airing grievances earlier, he got concerned, so he came to check.
He came to make sure everything was okay. Does Chester have any grievances?
Oh, he's got a lot. I mean, he tried to. He's upset that he can't rip through the Christmas gifts. He tried to earlier, and
it's legitimate. That's a legitimate grievance. All right.
Yeah.
So wait, Sabby, did you know Anthony and Josie? Have you ever met before?
I've had the honor of being a guest on Sabby Sab's podcast.
Okay, good. All right, good. Well,
I know her, but I have not.
Great interview with her. She's amazing.
Yeah, Sabby, anytime you want to talk to another veteran, you get Josie on there too. She'll give them a what for.
And I see you all the time, and I try to share your stuff all the time. So I love your stuff. Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Mel. I share your stuff a lot.
I know you do. It's so funny. You like see people, and it's like, I love her.
And that's a really interesting crossover right there, because Sabby, I think
but we find common ground all the time.
Sabby, I think you're left like me, right? Like you consider yourself on the left. So yeah, I think that's really nice that you guys find that common
But
ground.
I also think that that's a reflection of the times we're living in where, if things were going well, you could have the bickering over petty differences, but that's not the world we're living in. We're living in a world where we have to recognize what's in front of us. Exactly. And it's along class lines. It's what it's always been about.
You have to forgive me. The founder of Revolutionary Blackout, his name?
Oh, Nick Cruz.
So I sat right next to him during the Independent Media Awards in Chicago a couple weeks ago, or a couple months ago, I guess now. And we had so much fun, like cracking up. We had these like really, really stiff liberals sitting at the table with us, and we were laughing so hard the whole time. It was so fun. Yeah.
See, this is where people on the right and people on the actual left can all agree, because none of us like the liberals. It's like we really kind of agree on that. right?
Yeah.
Like,
if you
Okay,
ask
but
Nick, he'll
can
tell
we-
you we were having so much fun. We were
Now,
just, like,
what is a
dying
liberal?
laughing.
Can someone like actually? Because I hear
Okay,
neo-lib,
hold on.
neocon,
Love-
what? Okay,
Love
what is a
me,
liberal? Though?
love me, I'm
So-
a liberal. Wasn't that a very popular song many years ago?
Yes, it was. But I'm blanking on the
I
name
think
of it.
I think Josie, when we're saying liberal, like what I'm thinking of, and I think probably what Sabby is thinking of is, I think of like normie Dems that are just sort of like milquetoast, just sticking with the Democratic program. They're vote blues no matter who. They're very comfortable, and things that make them uncomfortable are a no-no. And talking about things. So that's who I think of as liberals, and unfortunately, that is a huge amount of the donor class to the Democratic Party. I mean, to both parties, really. I mean, they really are the same, except for
The best example.
Democrats are a little bit nicer about LGBTQ rights.
I'll give you a good example. The people that the people that want to show up at high-end fundraisers and speaking engagements with the likes of Hillary Clinton, the likes of John Podesta, the likes of the real president of the United States.
Anyone who bought Kamala's book.
Tony Blinken, people like that, like those, that is the liberal class. This is a affluent, highly educated, lives in one of the major cityscapes of suburbs surrounding either New York, DC,
gated communities,
Los Angeles, San Francisco, Chicago, places like that.
Sabby, is that a good, I think, analysis of liberal, or
absolutely.
I think Nick would tell you that at our table, who, again, I'm not talking shit about anybody. Everyone was very nice, okay? But Jimmy Dore gets up, okay? And you know Jimmy, okay? He's a little bit like, especially with COVID, and this is what it was all about. It actually was about COVID. He starts cracking jokes about masks and about vaccines and about all the things. And these women were not having
it.
any of it.
Nope.
None of it. Okay. Like, holy moly. And Janine and I are like dying laughing. And then Nick and his brother were there with us. We're like, it's just hilarious. We are laughing way too hard at Jimmy's jokes, but not because we're laughing at his jokes, but because we're looking at the women sitting across from us and they are like, pissed.
Yeah. That's a liberal.
To me, like, a liberal, like,
you know,
regardless of political side, Democrat or Republican, when I think of liberal, I think of someone like sending a bomber into Gaza with an LGBTQ flag.
Correct.
Or like a picture of Jesus for the conservative side. Oh, like here's some bombs, but also here's Jesus. Like,
well, the
end
of them
they're
both
like put icing on top of a pile of
Well, they were the ones that covered their ears outside of the DNC convention.
At the convention in Chicago. Exactly.
Yeah. They said, oh,
because
no,
that makes them uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That makes them uncomfortable, and they don't
Can
like
Republicans be liberal
Thank
too?
you,
Because I thought
Sabby.
that.
Merry Christmas, Sabby.
Bye,
Merry Christmas.
Oh, will you mention to Jay about that email I sent you? Would you?
JB?
Yeah, you're Jay. Just because I mean, I will too, but I'm just like mention that give him a heads up that I am in the look. Yeah. Thank you.
Bye.
Merry
Thanks, Sab.
Christmas. Okay, now can Republicans be considered liberals under like what I just said? Because is it just Democrats that can be liberals, or can Republicans be liberals?
There's neo-libs, and then there's neo-cons. And what they have in common is they're all corporate. Right? Like what they have in common is they all serve the corporate class. They all serve at the behest of capital. And that is what they're all in. That's why they don't go after each other. Because at the end of the day,
can someone take it upon themselves to create some sort of Webster's dictionary or like political dictionary of all these words and what they actually mean? Because as someone who was in the military for 17 years, who moved throughout the country, these words actually mean different things depending on where you are and who you're around. And I think when we're having these conversations, we're not like on the same wavelength, because like conservative to me, sometimes when people are talking to me about conservatives, I'm like, as a conservative, I'm like, that's not conservative. But maybe conservatives in their area are that. So maybe we need to
It's
break it
relative.
down.
Okay, if I could, I think that this is also a reflection of the death spiral that is capitalism, because in the end, what you're finding is people that, and again, and Harvey, I revert back to you because you lived in. I mean, listen, if you go back and you look at the last truly liberal Republican president, which was Nixon, and you look at the things that he accomplished as president, and you didn't know it was him. You just looked at a list of line items that he actually did during the time that he was in the White House. You wouldn't believe it if you wouldn't believe that it was him that did it. And
Right.
I bring this up because if you think about the media ecosystem that we are living in today and how, our channel gets suppressed like crazy. And it's all because when you speak truth to power, this is what you're facing. And so I thought, are there any clips that I thought would be appropriate for this show tonight? And I thought this one was actually very good because on the one hand, when you think about being a young man, Harvey, and knowing how important 60 Minutes used to be. 60 Minutes was always revered as the primary end of the week news channel.
It was credible
show that you would watch.
Yeah, it was credible for sure.
And then you think about what just happened last night, not just with Bari Weiss killing a very important story about CCOT. There's also this, and this was Bill Whitaker closing out the show. Brace yourselves.
Some words that don't roll off the tongue. Semi-quincentennial is one of them. But we'll get plenty of practice in 2026 with the celebration of the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. It's a chance to take stock. How well are we living up to our revolutionary ideals that all are created equal with unalienable rights, among them life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness? Starting in January, we'll set aside time at the end of this broadcast to hear from leaders in the arts, science, and business. Expect familiar faces and some surprises. They have agreed to share their reflections on America, including how over the next 250 years we might continue working toward a more perfect union.
The last minute of 60 Minutes is sponsored by UnitedHealthcare.
That part.
There it is.
And that part is really funny.
Now, I'm willing to bet that when Walter Cronkite and any of the famous, Morley Safer, Ed Bradley, the famous newsmen of yesteryear, were ever doing a piece on CBS News, I highly doubt that they were taking sponsorships from Big Pharma and private health insurance. This is one of the primary reasons why we need a single-payer healthcare system.
Now, this is why we can't have nice things
How
right
about
here.
we have universal health care like all the other?
Well, that's
Yes,
what I'm saying.
single payer. It's single
Right.
payer.
Do a single-payer system.
Yeah.
You want to cut out.
I have met so many people on an international scale at this point that from Germany, from the UK, and I asked them, can you tell me about how your healthcare works? And they start telling me, and I'm like, someone comes do your groceries for you after you have a baby under your healthcare system?
All sorts of cool stuff.
Did you ever see that
I'm
video?
sorry, what? I went back to work 10 days after I had a baby. 10 days.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you guys are going to make me be the only one, aren't you?
No, we're not, because in the end, this is the only solution. It's not a question of,
if we have billions
You
to send to
guys.
kill people, we have billions to send to save people.
Obviously. Okay, I get it. But I will never support the implementation of a single payer health system when we have the corrupt government that we do. Obviously,
Agreed.
we've seen it. You absolutely see it in the health. You, Josie, and you, Tony, have been exposed to military healthcare. You know how.
but there's a
How
difference.
insanely
No,
corrupted.
Mel, actually, my military having TRICARE, which is what we have underneath the military service, was 10 times better
It's
than
very
what
good.
I have now.
No.
I'm not.
I agree. I agree.
Like
it's
what
Cadillac.
socialism looks like in terms of healthcare. I want to have that. But to your point about what works in other countries, it's not like just like cut and like it's very complex. For example, if someone wants to be a doctor in Germany, their education is paid for. So when they become a doctor, they're not in debt to have to make $500,000 a year to pay off the medical debt, because Germany pays for them to become a doctor. So they become a doctor debt free, and they're not looking to become like wealthy enough to pay off the debt. So it's a healthy cycle.
Well, I understand all of that, but I will push back on it. And the simple fact of the matter is that the U.S. is number one in innovation. We absolutely are. We have.
Are you sure? Because Israel said they
absolutely. Okay, first of all, Israel
said they are.
Israel can go itself. Okay, the U.S. actually is. We are number one in innovation. Now, granted, most of our pharmaceutical innovation does come from state-funded university research. I will grant you that all day long.
No, I think the problem is that, you know, when you say we're so innovative and we're like the most then why haven't we figured out how to take care of our people? But I don't understand.
How to cure
cancer. Because hold up. I will answer that question. The reason why, because there's no money in curing cancer.
No.
That's the problem.
We got it.
There's no money. We learned that. They told us that when they cured Hep C. When they cured Hep C,
healthcare is
they let the cat out the bag.
Right.
And they told us that
it's not meant to be a profit industry. And so long as healthcare is a profit industry, we will continue to circle the drain. Healthcare is a human right. That is one of the points of having a civilization. Otherwise, you can live alone on an island. And every other country seems to have figured it out. So I completely reject that the richest country on earth can't afford to take care of its people. That's absurd. I would agree
that, but I disagree with you in that the richest country on earth, which should have the most robust competition, okay? Because that's the thing. People always say, well, it's a capitalist problem. Well, actually, we don't have capitalism in our American healthcare system. We don't. We have
It shouldn't be a competition.
No.
It shouldn't be capitalism. It should be
hold
a right.
up. We do not have competition whatsoever in drug distribution. Okay.
Capitalism has nothing to do with
shouldn't be a competition.
Has nothing to do with competition. Forget that.
That's professor.
We have three
Now let the professor speak.
We have three drug distribution system companies that control 90% of drug distribution in the U.S. You have pharmacies signing onto contracts that they're not even allowed to read. That's not capitalism.
But that's not it. The point is we're entitled to
Harvey, get in here.
Yeah, tell us.
Tell us what we need to know.
I don't know why people think capitalism has anything to do with competition. I mean, competition, and if it ever did, it was driven out decades ago.
Yes.
We live in a country where the media is all wrapped up in an oligopolistic system. I mean,
agree.
UnitedHealth Care purvey. How many?
We're at the end stages of capitalism where that doesn't work.
Okay, so and we're not going to go back to the days of every little business is going to.
So this isn't capitalism. This is what we agree on.
Well,
we all agree.
This is capital. No, this is capitalism.
Absolutely.
This is capitalism in a very advanced and stage. Look, the thing about healthcare is you either believe people have as you were saying, Jen, you either believe people have a right. Look, the Declaration of Independence says a right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. If you're going to have life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, you could ask a 15-year-old, what does that take? Okay. They immediately will think life is in terms of the ability to live. Okay. And the ability to make sure that you have the wherewithal to live. Okay. I don't know where Republicans, conservatives, libertarians, and the others could ever lay claim to the Declaration of Independence, but we've allowed that kind of thing to happen. Okay. Ask about liberty. Okay. What does liberty mean? Well, you can't be free. You can't be free without the wherewithal to be free. As FDR said it was very clear. Okay.
Nothing I can do about it.
Yeah.
If you don't, if you're in need,
Go ahead.
you're not free. If you're in need, you're not free. It's as simple as that. And the pursuit of happiness, well, just imagine what it is. We ask our students, well, I'm not teaching them right now, but we ask our students all the time what does it take for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness? And they fully understood it, and they weren't even being outrageous about it. Why it is that the Democrats can't figure out that life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness might well be the next basis upon which to run a presidential and a congressional election. It's just astonishing to me.
It's also.
I have something I want to say that just happened because this is so important. Mel, especially because I know you're going to understand. I am anti-vax. My 5-year-old almost died after taking vaccinations at 3 months old. The 3-month vaccination, the schedule that they get, it's like pin. You can look at it, it's like crazy how many vaccines they get. After that situation for 2 weeks where he ran 104.5 to 105 fever for 2 weeks. And they refused to. This was within 10 hours of taking those 5 vaccinations that are compiled in 2 shots. They refused to acknowledge that it was anything to do with the vaccinations. That's the part that scared the living shit out of me, that they would refuse to acknowledge that part. If they would have acknowledged that, oh yeah, this could be a side effect, I'd think differently. But after that, no. Now I had 2 more kids. I have 4 kids total. We are anti-vax. My husband takes my kids to get a physical because I'm Catholic. So, we use that, what is it called? What is it called, Mel, that we use when we don't want to get vaccinations as Christians?
Yeah, there's religious exemptions.
Religious exemption. But you still have to do the physical. We go to the doctor. This is 2-3 weeks ago. And she's like, oh my God, your kids haven't gotten any vaccines. And she was like, there's some important ones they should get. And I said, my husband was like, I'm gonna have them catch them up. I'm like, do not let him put a shot in my kids. What are you talking about? He puts the doctor on the phone. I said, what do you think's the most important thing? I'm open to hearing what you have to say. She says, Hep B. And look what just happened with Hep B. And that was the most important one.
Okay, so here's the thing. So you actually made a case against capitalism, okay? Because all of those doctors, those doctors are actually 100% compensated for those vaccines, right?
Yes. And not only those vaccines, all the medication.
Right.
I
actually don't think in a single payer healthcare system, they're not compensated for the number of vaccines that they distribute. Right. And unfortunately, in America's healthcare system, we reward all of the drugs that you can pump into someone. We give you rewards for. It's this screwy system. Okay. I have seen, number one, I believe that we live in a plutocracy. I don't think that we live in any kind of capitalist system whatsoever. I believe the rich rule us all. I believe the rich are heavily invested in the pharmaceutical industry and in the medical industry in general. And I believe that they capitalize and that is actually the reason why we'll never get any kind of 100%. I believe that people should be able to afford healthcare. It should be very, very inexpensive for normal people to go to a doctor to get regular medicine that they actually need, not bullshit that they don't need, but actual real medicine. I 100% believe in that. And if you can't afford that, then the government absolutely should provide it for you.
This is exactly why a single payer system, which, by the way, for everyone who's an austerity
What's that? Can you tell us what a single payer system is?
The simplest way to explain it is that you're removing the for-profit middlemen in between you and your doctor. The free market still applies if you're the best doctor in Madison, Wisconsin, and everyone wants to go see that doctor and have a 3-month backlog to go see him, and he can make $1 million a year. Nobody should be stopping him from making that $1 million. Where the problem comes into play is that UnitedHealth, Cigna, Aetna, Blue Cross, and then of course you have Johnson & Johnson, you have Pfizer, you have Moderna. In fact, that Moderna is, considering of the 3 vaccines that people were required to take, Moderna is indisputably a vaccine that injured a lot of people, and perhaps even a lot of people may have died. And the fact that there are no restrictions against that, a single payer system would cut off the power of big pharma at its head.
So what single payer is, Josie, is that the government would be the single payer. Okay, so that would be the single payer.
They wouldn't run it.
No, it's not that they don't. And the truth is, here's the thing. I don't claim that there's any one country that has it all right. I don't. I don't know that. But what I do know is that there's no other country where people have to file for bankruptcy because they get sick.
We're the only one.
That I know.